Hi, this is Ribbit15. This is gonna be a video explaining how to build your own Imperial Gunner costume. I haven't made a video in like a year, so bear with me on this. And I have to use my laptop to film this because I'm still having issues with my camera, which is why it's taking me a year to finally make this video. I'm on my third costume right now since I think the Biker Scout and the introduction to how to make the Gunner costume. So I'm going to finish up on how to make your own Imperial Gunner costume. And this is what they look like if you don't already know. I'm directionally challenged apparently. So yeah, they're little guys on the Death Star that thing. So then the coveralls, I'm starting with coveralls, they're right behind me on the hook thing. I will post, for this costume, there's if you're not familiar with the 501st, or how they work or anything like that, there's almost always a forum for any costume you want to do, or like everybody gets together that's making that costume and help each other out. So there is a forum for Imperial Gunners, and I will post a link to it at the description of this video. They're called the Imperial Gunner Corps, and they're very helpful. And whoever did the web design for that, it's really good because they set it up so they have like links to each piece that you will need to make the costume. So mine's a bit old because I made it for my senior project for graduating, and so I haven't worn it in a bit, but I'll still show you how to put it together. And if you're a guy and you're making this costume, there are not a lot of gunners, and they're really adorable costume characters. So if you're making one, so I'll start with the coveralls. It's nice if when making this costume you are like gonna go into making it with another person, or even making it with a TIE pilot, because you're gonna need extra fabric to alter your flight suit or your coveralls. Mine's coveralls. And so I went into making mine with my, at the time, commanding officer of Garrison Titan, my local 501st chapter. So, because you need a flight suit for your size, and then you need like another one so that you can add extra fabric, take fabric from that flight suit and make the extra pockets and stuff that you need to add onto your suit to make it accurate so you can join. So if you're doing it with a buddy, it's nice to you each get a flight suit, and then you get a third flight suit that you both can steal fabric from, and then just like chip in and pay for half of the third flight suit. So, which is what I did with my commanding officer. So when you get it, and there is I believe I got the, there's like a little piece of paper out that shows you where everything's supposed to go. I think I got mine off the forums. And so there's 2 pockets on the front. There's 2 pockets on the chest. Then you have to add 2 pockets kind of like on your thighs. This is just cool. Do this. There's 2 pockets on the thighs, like right here. So if I were to put it on, there's 2 on the thighs. And then on this arm, and then obviously you have the Imperial cog patches on your shoulders. On this arm you have just another pocket on your bicep. Another patch on this arm. And then on this arm you're gonna have like this weird, or it almost looks like a pencil case kind of styled pocket, where you have like a bigger pocket and then like 3 little teeny ones. And then you have your Compad which is here. Now, if you are going to make this, I put mine on wrong, so don't copy me. So mine is curved this way. Here's the end of the sleeve. These four buttons here are actually supposed to be pointing towards your sleeve. So if you do make it, make sure that these are pointing towards the sleeve when you curve it. And I think this is resin. I can't tell you where I got it because, once again, I did a bulk order with my CO and he was just kind of like, hey, I'm getting a Compad, do you want one? I was like, sure. So he bought two and I paid him back for it. But basically, when you get it, it's like, it's flat and you have to stick it in some hot water so the plastic will heat up, and then you kind of curve it over something so it's kind of curved. I think I used a fire extinguisher, and you kind of like squish it over there and curve it so it'll be a bit, you know, it'll bend. And then I glued it to a square of fabric. I think I used this again, which is like my favorite glue when it comes to this type of costuming. Contact cement, spray glue stuff. And then, you know, just sew it in there. So that's your first layer, as it were. Once you have that done, if you're small like me, hold on, out of the way. If you're small like me, you can get away with wearing a stormtrooper pauldron because it's like, it's the perfect size to fit you. Because it's supposed to, like, the belt comes like right underneath, and so it's supposed to be like right about there. And so I got mine on eBay, and like I said, this costume's like a year old now, so I don't remember where, but once again, they have links on the forums, so don't worry. And so when you get up, if you go with a pauldron, if you're small enough, you can use a pauldron, and I've seen a lot of people that can get it with just using a black pauldron. You know, you get it, and then you kind of have to alter the strap that goes in the back, because it's not, when you get it, it's not elastic. So I cut them off, and I replaced it with an elastic thing with a Velcro, so it'll actually, you know, go around my body and stretch, and I can move and stuff like that, and not be in pain. And if you're not small enough that you can't use a pauldron, there's a pattern that you can use to make one, basically, and out of a different material, and that's once again floating around on the forums. And then this goes on top of your suit. That'll probably fall off, but I don't care. And then for the Imperial Gunner, if you know anything about, like, if you're with the Fileverse and you're making another costume and this is your, you know, your second or whatever number costume, like me, I made the Scout first. This was my second Fileverse costume. It's kind of the same as making an Imperial crewman, which is, you know, minus the pauldron. It's the suit made the same way, and then you have a pair of black boots. Mine are motorcycle boots, because I'm a biker scout. And you're not supposed to have any zippers or buckles, just like slide-on boots, black. And they're not supposed to have a terribly big heel. And, like, you know, what the length is on these. Like mid-shin, I suppose. So you have these. And then you have a pair of black gloves. Once again, got these from the motorcycle store. There is one guy that makes really good gloves, but I've seen the gloves on my friends in the Fileverse, but I don't know where they get them. But I'm sure other people do. But, you know, they're supposed to have a gaunt on them. Pretty gaunts. And you wear those with the suit. And then you have a belt, that's right. Then you have a belt, which is, I showed you how to make this belt in my previous video. I will add a link at the bottom if you don't know where that is. But then you put on the belt, and, you know, the belt, shoes, gloves, suit is basically the essentials for an Imperial crewman, if you want to make an Imperial crewman. And then you add the hat. So if you're going to be an Imperial crewman, you add the hat, and you're an Imperial crewman. So you can do the same thing, like make a gunner, what I'm doing. I haven't actually done it yet because I just haven't gotten around to it. Make the gunner, and then just, you know, take off the helmet and the pauldron and put on the hat. And you can be approved for 2 costumes, just like that. Same with a TIE pilot. You can, you know, all 3 of these costumes kind of go together in a sense. Get a TIE fighter helmet and chest plate box thing, and it's like the same thing. So, this is my name on the inside. And then also you're going to need a holster. See it? You will have to hand make this, but that's what army parties are for, with your garrison. But basically, there's also a pattern for this floating around, and you know, just get leather from the leather store, and you cut it out, and the only stitching you really need to do is just right up here, and that's it. And then, you know, you put that on your belt. And with the gunners, there's, if you actually, you know, do research, mine's like the basic gunner that most people do. But there's like many different variations of gunners that you can be approved for, like gunners that don't have the helmets, gunners that have no gloves, gunners that don't have a pauldron, stuff like that. And then I just use the standard E11 blaster as my weapon of choice for this costume. But you can have, gunners are allowed to have, like, you know, they have a larger variety of guns that they're allowed to have and be approved with. And then the helmet is over here. This is my helmet, and I got it from a guy that makes them on the threads. And I'm going to leave his name out, but he's on there because I don't want to get him in trouble or nothing, because he does really cool stuff. So this is the gunner helmet, and this moves back and forth for, like, you know, so you can twist this back for, you know, trooping and taking it so it won't get damaged and things like that. And then when you get your helmet, you have to put foam and padding on the inside so it will actually sit on your head comfortably. And I'm still debating on whether or not I want to do this, but if you want to be a super gunner, you can get the armor pieces that some gunners wear, and I have 2 gunners in my garrison that have the hard armor with their costume. And so basically this is all like it hasn't been trimmed or anything, it's just rough cut. But basically, if you want to add the armor, which I think my little toy guy here has this. Yeah, my little toy guy has this armor. I haven't, you know, made it yet, but you essentially are getting, you know, 2 black, they're basically snowtrooper shoulder pieces. So black snowtrooper pieces. And then these are the 2 pieces to hold together. I believe you put this together with rivets. This is the back of it, which is essentially a TIE Pilot backplate. And then the front of it, which is kind of like a Special Ops Stormtrooper front plate. Breastplate, sorry. You know, and then you stick it together. And I don't have a chance to do that. But you get the idea. And you stick it together and put that on in place of your pauldron. And you're good to go. So, that's how you make an Imperial Gunner. I'll post all the links to the forums in the bottom of this video, description of this video. And I will also have a Twitter page that, you know, I'm in the process of making another costume right now, which I'll talk about in another video. But on my Twitter page, I'll probably post things like, you know, progress with that costume. People can ask me questions if you have questions about building this on there. And I'll probably also just randomly post pictures of troops and things like that. But, yeah, if you have any questions about how to put this together, you can message me on YouTube, which, generally I will get back to you pretty quick. I don't check it every single day, but there's that. And if you need a lot of help, and you don't look like a weirdo, then, you know, generally I will friend people on Facebook that, like, need help and need to communicate with me, like, a lot. I'll friend them on Facebook and talk to them, but I don't friend everybody on Facebook for security purposes. So, hope this helped, and have fun making a Imperial Gunner costume, because we need more gunners.